Intro to consonant sounds and glottal stops. Now, I see a lot of people posting stuff on the internet that say, you know, gosh, I can sing this scale and I can get really high, but I can never apply it to singing. Well, there's a really good reason for that, and I kind of covered some of this, so I'm going to start from square one of what we've discussed here first, and I'm going to move on to how we can rectify this or how we can make this make sense in a practical application for singing. The first thing is that consider the source. If you're an SLS person and you're going from your chest voice into your head voice and you're singing really light and you can't really apply the head voice at all to anything, don't blame nothing other than SLS or something where you have no power in that sound, so you can't apply it to make it sound like your natural voice. It sounds like falsetto. So blame that, right? But if you're doing my course here and you've grown your chest voice and you have that really high and you still feel like, gosh, I've grown my chest voice really high, or I've been able to, by the way, I want you guys to stretch the chest voice safely, as safe as possible, as high as you can before handing it off into the head voice, because again, the deeper the roots, the taller the trees, and the more we can grow our chest voice and hand it off to the head voice, the more robust mid voice we're going to have for mixed voice when it counts, when we want to have a percentage of chest head mix in all these belting notes in the center, or strong powerful notes, whether you're belting or not, in the center. That's really paramount and very important. But so people say, but I can do these scales and I can sing them really high, but I can't apply them to singing. Well, there's several factors, and the very first one is, first and foremost, is we're setting up the ah vowel in the back of the throat. We're asking the throat to stay open the whole time. And we're opening the throat. We're building muscle memory so that we can build this memory into, our psyche, so to speak, or into our vocabulary of singing, so that it will always stay open as much as possible whenever we're translating vowels. Now, we just did oo, o, ah, and in volume 3, we're going to get into more intense versions of how we translate from vowel to vowel and different inversions of vowels, so that the throat is used to going in and out of different vowel sounds, okay? So think of this, like driving around a track and you're kind of going through different corners and stuff, and you have to get used to those corners in the throat, in the vocal tract. Now, however, in a glottal stop, what's a glottal stop? So in a glottal stop, or in, contiguous phrase singing, we want as much as possible to have contiguous phrase singing, the same amount of air coming out of the throat, of the mouth, as possible. So every time we close down the throat to ba, hung, ga, pa, da, anything that stops contiguous airflow, hem, ba, loving you. We get that yodel off of NG, and we have that funky thing. The throat spasms and it closes down. It regurgitates and spasms. It says, dude, what do you want? Do you want air to come out of the throat and the mouth? Or do you want it to come out of the velar-nasal port, out of in the nasal cavity? Like, can you make up your mind here? I'd like to know what you want to do here. Now, there could be derivations. You could have a little bit out of the throat and also out of the nose, combinations thereof. But if the throat's not trained to stay open, that's what open throat technique is all about. If the throat's not trained to stay open, it doesn't know what to do with it. So it quickly spasms and closes down, and you get these yodels, or these kind of choking effects where you feel like you're gagging or choking on your vowels as you're going through word phrases. So when you're singing a song, and we're going to get into this in just a second, but when you're singing a song, the best thing that you can do is to train with vowels only. So if I were to train Lights by Journey, for example, like, when the light, right? I train just the vowels alone with no consonant stops, no glottal stops at all, first to keep the throat open to understand. So then I only bring in consonant sounds as much as I need to in order to be able to have you hear the words and what I'm saying. And by the way, this is not some weird thing where, oh, that sounds like, you got some weird, I'm trying to say Down syndrome, but some vocal issue or something where, you don't sound real when you sing. No, it's actually more of a beautiful sound. So if I go, instead of I go, when the lights go down in the city, right? What's prettier? When the lights go go down in the city and the sun shines on the bay. Right? It's more beautiful to keep contiguous airflow coming out of the throat and only bringing in those consonants as we need. You know, I was born by the river in a little tent, just like that river I've been running ever since. Right? These beautiful long whole tones. Now, there's a lot of songs that require, if I hear you knocking, yeah, upon my door, where there's fast stab phrases. That's different. We cover this too. There's a trick to that too, by the way, about compressing air, about not letting too much air pass across the chord for quick stab phrases. But we want to train the throat to stay open all the time, as much as possible. Sing your songs. Go through the vowels first. Only include the consonants as you need them. And then, if there are problem child consonants, so to speak, problem children, we can use soft consonants. So instead of B, baby, 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 you can use a V. Baby, 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 just to keep contiguous airflow. So it's baby, baby. So you're not contiguously throwing air up into the velar-nasal port to where it's trying to shift and the throat's trying to understand how to stay open. You can practice first with soft consonants and then integrate harder consonants along the way. All right, let's continue.